Well, he's being called the John Grisham of the medical world, a man with a day job, as Grisham had when he was a lawyer and wrote a best-selling book First Time Out. Pandemic made Daniel Kalla an international best-selling author, and his latest book is now out on store shelves. As Jazz Johal reports, this one also deals with something he confronts in his other life.
For Daniel Kalla, writing is a passion. It may be a solitary existence, but one he thoroughly enjoys. So when his wife is at work and his two daughters are in school, he picks up his laptop and begins weaving a story.
I've had this urge since I was a kid towards just telling a story. I mean, that's my creative outlet. I didn't do anything about it for 20 years, but in the last 10 years, once I started, I just couldn't stop.
The material for his work is inspired by his day job.
You can see the alignment of the ribs is perfectly fine.
When Dan's not writing, he's working as an emergency room physician at Vancouver St. Paul's Hospital. At this inner-city hospital, Dr. Kalla sees it all. It's provided endless material for his 5 books.
I love the setting in the emergency. I love the fact that our interactions are brief and sometimes intense, and it just suits my attention deficit kind of personality.
Dr. Kalla writes suspense thrillers that are deeply rooted in science and medicine. With titles like Resistance, Blood Lies, and Pandemic, he has a keen interest in emerging pathogens. In 2003, the SARS virus was spreading in many cities around the world. Dr. Kalla sat on a task force to deal with the virus in Canada. In one of those meetings, he was inspired to write Pandemic.
And we were looking on a map at where SARS was. It was in Singapore and Toronto, and it didn't seem to have a natural geographic spread. And I thought, well, what if I turned to the guy beside me, I said, well, what if somebody's doing this deliberately? What if the spread isn't accidental? And that's when the idea twigged. I mean, what if terrorists tried to use a virus as a weapon?
His latest book, Cold Plague, looks at prions, the protein responsible for mad cow disease. Even with his busy day job, Dr. Kalla has over 1 million books in print in 10 languages, including 2 which have been optioned for feature films. He jokingly refers to himself as a professional alarmist.
To me, a good thriller has a few qualities. One of it is a sense of big stakes. I think if it's just a cat messing up a tree, it's hard to get excited about. I like putting the world in a little bit of peril.
Clearly, putting the world at peril means the doctor won't be quitting his day job. There's just too much material for his other pursuit. Jazz Johal, Global News, Vancouver.
Well, what do